Hey everybody, Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. This is a NoDQ Top 5 series. Today I will be discussing my top 5 victories of the New Generation Era of WWE from 1993 to 1997. Let's go ahead and get started. Coming in at number 5 is from the 1997 Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels defeating Psycho Sid to capture the WWE Championship for the second time. The story leading up to this was quite fitting for Shawn Michaels. The event was taking place in his hometown of San Antonio, Texas, and not just that, but WWE going with that go big or go home attitude, holding the event at the Alamo Dome with over 60,000 fans in attendance. Shawn Michaels had lost the championship to Sid at the 1996 Survivor Series, where interestingly enough, Shawn got booed out of the building by the fans, despite Sid basically being a heel, breaking the rules to win the match, using a cameraman's camera on HBK's mentor and manager, Jose Lothario. So for this rematch, it was personal. Shawn Michaels was looking to get revenge. Sid had powerbombed one of Jose's kids onto a table. So this feud had definitely become personal. Shawn Michaels scored the victory and reportedly had a fever going into the match. Shawn Michaels won in front of his hometown fans. Definitely one of the biggest hometown celebrations and victories that I can recall in WWE history. Next up at number 4 is from 1997's Canadian / Calgary Stampede pay-per-view. You had the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, Brian Pillman, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart against the Americans, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You had the Legion of Doom, you had Goldust, you had Ken Shamrock, and they were the heels going into Canada. This was something that was unprecedented in WWE, where the guys who were normally the good guys were the villains in this match, and the villains were normally the good guys because of this whole USA versus Canada feud. So this match felt so surreal, and the finish was truly epic for the Hart Foundation to defeat those Americans in Canada. The place went completely nuts for Bret Hart and his team emerging victorious. And then, of course, Steve Austin having to be escorted out of the building, flipping everybody off on the way out. It was truly a magical moment for the Hart Foundation. You had the entire Hart family get into the ring to celebrate, and it's one of those all-time great hometown feel victories in WWE history. Coming in at number 3, we have Shawn Michaels winning the 1995 Royal Rumble match. The story of this match was that Shawn Michaels was not only entering a low number in the Rumble, but he was number 1. Not even Ric Flair came in at number 1 and won the entire thing. Although, to be fair to Flair, that Royal Rumble was over an hour long. This one was a much shorter match because WWE experimented with 60-second intervals. Still, doesn't make it less impressive the performance of Shawn Michaels, who went out there and completely stole the show. And this was definitely during that transitional period where the fans, despite Shawn being this despised heel for several years, he was just earning the respect of the fans by giving the best performance of the night every single night he performed. And this Royal Rumble was no exception. It came down to Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog at the end, and they were number 1 and number 2 going into the match. You had the Bulldog, who thought he eliminated Shawn Michaels, but then the big moment, the infamous spot where Shawn Michaels only had one foot hit the floor. And the rule of the Royal Rumble for all these years was that both feet had to hit the floor. Shawn Michaels got back into the ring, eliminated the British Bulldog to pick up the victory, and to top it all off, you got Pamela Anderson out there celebrating with you in your victory. So can't really go wrong with that. I mean, it doesn't get much better. You get Pamela Anderson by your side, and you get to be in the WWE Championship match. at WrestleMania. Pretty cool deal. And now we are down to the number 2 greatest victory of the New Generation Era in WWE. Bret Hart emerging victorious at WrestleMania 10. A year earlier at WrestleMania 9, Bret Hart lost the championship to Yokozuna, and he had to spend a full year getting back to that top spot. And finally, after co-winning the Royal Rumble with Lex Luger, Bret Hart got his opportunity. Bret ended up losing the first match of WrestleMania 10 to Owen Hart, but he still had his championship match with Yokozuna to close the show. And Bret Hart managed to get his win back on Yokozuna, regain the WWE Championship, and then you had the entire locker room empty out. You had everybody from Randy Savage to Tatanka, all the baby faces coming out to celebrate with Bret. But one person was not happy about this, and that was Owen Hart, the man that beat Bret Hart earlier on the show, standing out there, pure jealousy in his eyes. This was such an epic ending to WrestleMania 10, and it was very well booked and a very memorable, epic moment for sure. And now for the number 1 greatest victory in the history of the New Generation Era of WWE. It has to be Shawn Michaels becoming the WWE Champion at WrestleMania 12, or as Vince McMahon put it, the boyhood dream coming true for Shawn Michaels. I love the build up to the match. Shawn Michaels training with his mentor, Jose Lothario, and then you had Bret Hart training in the Hart family dungeon to prepare for the WrestleMania showdown. The match was grueling. It was a 1-hour Iron Man match. Neither guy could get a fall on the other one, and once the match was over, it looked like Bret Hart was going to retain the WWE Championship. However, Gorilla Monsoon ordered that Bret Hart return to the ring. The match would go into sudden death overtime. And somehow, despite being in the sharpshooter for the last minute of the match, Shawn Michaels managed to come back, hit the sweet chin music on Bret Hart, and become the champion. And you just had this emotional Shawn Michaels come out there and reveal himself to the world. Shawn Michaels looking at the championship, putting his head down into the championship. You had Vince on commentary. It was such a magical moment to see Shawn Michaels finally reach the pinnacle in WWE after all the years of giving night in and night out the performance of a lifetime. Shawn Michaels finally, everything at that moment, you couldn't put a price on it. Shawn Michaels, WWE champion, and now taken over as the leader of the new generation. That'll do it for my top 5 victories of the New Generation Era of WWE. Let me know what you thought about this video. Give me your thoughts. What do you think was the greatest victory in the history of the New Generation? And if you enjoyed this video, you see that subscribe button? You can always give it some sweet chin music or put the sharpshooter on it. Whatever your preference is, please subscribe. Tell a friend, spread the word, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest WWE wrestling news and rumors. Thank you so much for watching.